Hey everybody, welcome back to Guns and Gadgets. I really appreciate your time. Massachusetts update. Something extremely frustrating happened on Friday. Stick by, check this out. A Suffolk Superior Court judge on Friday denied Glock's attempt to avoid complying with Attorney General Maura Healey's demand for all kinds of records that she was requesting as it pertains to Glock and their malfunctions, warranty calls, repairs, etc. You might recall from this channel that she is suing Glock, she is suing Remington because she thinks she is the end-all power of firearms. Now, I could go on and show you numerous things where she knows absolutely nothing related to firearms, and it's all been documented on her own website, and it's just a comedy of errors day after day after day. But regardless, she's suing Glock, saying that they are an unsafe firearms manufacturer, trying to regulate them, and basically trying to push them right out of the state. Judge Edward, I'm going to try this name, Liebensperger. He ruled that the Supreme Judicial Court of Massachusetts, which is our Supreme Court, has already given the Attorney General the ability to, and let me quote this, prevent the deceptive or unfair sale or transfer of defective products which do not perform as warranted. Now, Attorney General Maura Healey, who is hated by every gun owner in this state, requested this information from Glock and Remington as she's trying to sue them out of existence in Massachusetts. Now, Glock said they shouldn't have to comply with this request for records because they don't sell guns, they don't sell firearms to the individual here in Massachusetts. Yes, they sell them to law enforcement and military personnel in the state, but we, the people of Massachusetts, are not allowed to buy Glocks unless they are pre-ban. Now, that will enrage everybody who doesn't know about the Massachusetts bans, but basically, we can't buy a brand new Gen 3 or Gen 4 Glock. Now, Healey claims that firearms manufacturers are not properly policed by the federal government, and she's trying to do that here on the state level. And one of the main things she's latching onto in this case is a case here in Massachusetts where a guy had a Glock in his pocket and was at a dance on the 4th of July and the gun went off. All right, now, anybody who knows anything about firearms, you don't put a gun in your pocket. You put it in a holster, right? Because you could catch something on the trigger and it could engage the trigger far enough where it could go off, especially on a striker-fired pistol. This woman knows nothing. So this person was extremely stupid in putting a gun in his pocket first off without a holster. He can't get a moment's peace. So this guy was negligent in putting a firearm, an unholstered firearm, in his pocket. Something touched the trigger, whether it was the fabric of his pants, something else in his pocket. It was totally his fault. That's a negligent discharge. Has nothing to do with what kind of firearm is in his pocket. But that's common sense. That's coming from people who know about guns and how they're operated and what makes them go bang. But the liberals don't want to see the truth. Liberals don't want to hear the facts. They just want to banish the evil gun. And it helps push their agenda and all that kind of stuff. Now, here's a telling quote, too. The Attorney General liked the ruling. Obviously, it was in her favor. And I'm going to read this quote. She's saying that her office is seeking the information to, quote, allow us to determine if these guns are safe, and we will evaluate it on the same standard that we would apply to any other manufacturer under state law. So these people don't know anything about guns, how they work, how they shoot, what parts are in them, what's a copycat, what's a make-believe, what's a frickin' squirt gun. They don't know anything about it, but they're right there telling you they want the ability to regulate what's safe as it pertains to a firearm. Now, the judge in this case made a quote that's just like stupid, okay? This judge is holding on to these statistics in a year-and-a-half span from January 1st, 2014 to August of 2015. It showed that about 10,800 Glocks were sold here in Massachusetts, okay? And of that, 8,000 were sold to the individual. But you can still buy Gen 1 and Gen 2 Glocks in this state. And even getting into that, Glocks are legal for sale in Massachusetts. We have two lists. It's stupid, it's tyrannical, but we have two lists. One from the Executive Office of Public Safety and Security, EOPS. The other one is a more restrictive list by the Attorney General, the neo-Nazis that want to control everything we do. Glock, everything, Glock, Barrett, they were all on the EOPS list. But the Attorney General says, no, we don't want you to have that. We don't like those. So that's what we have to deal with in this state, and that's what we're fighting right now. But there are still legal ways to buy Glocks or any other any other gun on that list that the Attorney General doesn't want us to have. There's still ways to do it legally, person-to-person transfers, whatever. An older generation of that firearm. It's still a Glock, but it's still one of the pre-ban legal ones. And those are in these statistics. Everything this Attorney General does is politically motivated. She is auditioning for a job under Hillary Clinton on the national level, and we are stuck with it because there's no recall procedure in Massachusetts for the Attorney General's office. She is what is called a constitutional officer and has basically the same amount of power as the governor. And they're two independent offices, and there's no checks or balances between them. How screwed up is that? But that's what we have in Massachusetts. And something else that's telling, the judge also said, and I'll quote this one too, that Healey has good and sufficient grounds to seek the records based on safety and other concerns. Now, this is all being forced down our throats here in Massachusetts, while all the sheep are being distracted by Mama Hillary and getting ready to suck the teat of government. This is crazy that this is going on and people don't know anything, but they're just like, hey, you know what? Yeah, we're Democrat, so we're going to believe everything that these people say. Why would we fact check anybody? Those guns are evil. They're like freaking laser beams. It's crazy what we have to deal with, but that's what's going on here in Massachusetts. Glock just got screwed, and they said they're still going to fight. Remington is still fighting as well. The only thing we can do is put our faith in them, call them, let them know we here in Massachusetts are behind Glock. And the worst thing is, us taxpayers in Massachusetts, we have to pay for this lawsuit. She's suing them, so we have to pay to sue Glock, and at the same time, tell them we support them as taxpayers and maybe donate to their cause, so we're fighting it on both sides with the dollar. Also, look for another lawsuit coming out against Maura Healey from the NRA. It should be filed shortly. I'll have more on that once I get the definitive details and the filing date. That is the news for Massachusetts. If you like this information, please hit that little thumbs up sign and spread this to all your friends. I'd appreciate it if you would share it. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. As I get the news, I pump it out as fast as possible when the little ones let me do it. This is Jared from Guns and Gadgets. I appreciate your time. And until we see each other again, be safe, stay vigilant, carry a weapon. Take care.